Okay, we are having another crack, and I think it's worked. We're having another crack here, going live on Instagram and Facebook at the same time this fine Wednesday morning. And I just wanted to spend a little bit of time supporting you guys through the idea that there's some things that you think you don't want to do. And I get messages saying, Jermaine, I want to achieve this goal, but then I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. How do I get motivated for this? How do I get up for? Literally, how do I get up for it? You might see people get up for a sports game, or you get people up for a competition or a particular athletic movement, and you see them slapping each other on the head. And the greatest example is New Zealand rugby with the haka. But I'm talking about those day-to-day things. That you don't want to do. Now, here's the thing, guys. For those of you watching live with me and those of you catching up on the replay, if you'd like to comment below some of those things that you think you don't want to do, I've got news for you. You do want to do them. You say, but Jermaine, no, I don't want to do them. I don't want to do the laundry. I don't want to go for that run. I don't want to make those sales calls. I just don't want to. You do want to. There's some part of you that sees more advantages, more benefits, more forward progress in line with what you actually ultimately want from life, from actually doing them. That's why you're having this conflict. Because in that present moment, you might be hypnotizing yourself into thinking that you don't want to, but you really do. Here's what I mean. Let's take the laundry, for example. Say, oh, Jermaine, I don't want to do the laundry. Your highest value, your ultimate priority, is probably having a clean, healthy, hygienic environment for you and your family. That's the ultimate priority. It's just that small task of doing the laundry at that time you think you don't want to. If you didn't want to, you wouldn't. Jermaine, I don't want to. I don't want to make those sales calls. I don't want to. But your ultimate priority might be financial freedom or business growth or business progress. So you hypnotize yourself into thinking that you don't want to make those sales calls, but ultimately you do. Oh, Jermaine, I don't want to go for that run. Jermaine, I just don't want to go to the gym today. I just don't want to go to the gym. You do. Because that value, that priority that you have is on physical development, health and fitness and energy and vitality. But in that moment, it's easy to listen to that little voice that says, I don't want to do that. This makes sense, Facebook, Instagram, my friends? Here's how you get around that. Here's how you take control of your mind in this process throughout this dynamic. So, morning, guys. Just seeing some comments. I got a screen over here just saying morning to some guys on Facebook. So, here's how you circumnavigate that. Here's how you get around that within your mind. You ask yourself, how is this task that I'm about to do? How does it contribute to my ultimate priority or my top 3 priorities in life? How does this task move me in the direction I want to go in? How does this task contribute to my ultimate success, my ultimate vision, my ultimate reality? Then when you start to get in touch with that, it's not just doing the laundry. It's being an incredible homemaker, creating a safe, clean, amazing, homely environment for your family. It's not just going for a run. It's being in incredible physical condition so you can have the health, the energy, the vitality to play with your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren. It's not just a run anymore. It's not just a sales call. It's contributing to your ultimate financial freedom, your financial independence, your business growth. Sometimes we get hypnotized into those day-to-day, moment-to-moment tasks, and we detach from how they actually contribute to our highest values, our number 1 priorities, our top goals. Because there are things, my friends, there are things that you always make time for. There are things that you don't have to get yourself up for. Because in that moment, they contribute to your highest value, your highest priority, your number 1 goal. Does this make sense? Hi, guys. Lots of people saying hi on Facebook. So So let's take the homemaker example. You want to be an amazing homemaker. You might be a stay-at-home mother, stay-at-home father, and in that moment you think, I don't want to do the laundry. But you don't have to get yourself up for taking your children to a show or a farm, or where you know is going to be that instant. It's almost like an instant gratification type thing, where you see yourself, you feel yourself being that amazing mother, father, homemaker in that moment. Does this make sense? There's lots of things in your life you don't have to get yourself up for, because you realise consciously you want to do them. But these things that you think you don't want to do, you do really want to do. Potentially confusing if you're just joining, but really you do want to do them because they're contributing to your highest priorities, your highest values, your ultimate goals. With an exception. One challenge I see, potentially, is that we have injected, we've taken on the priorities, the values, the goals of other people. You might see person X, Y, or Z who you think consciously is inspiring, and they might bench 150 kilos, or run a marathon, or follow the paleo diet or a vegan diet, whatever it might be. And you inject their values, their priorities, their ideas, their goals. And then you get in a cycle of being unfulfilled because you're trying to live through their priorities. Does that make sense? You might see people leaving their job and becoming an entrepreneur. And then you do the same, and it doesn't quite fit somehow. Because you might not be being true to yourself. Does this make sense? So there's two questions I guess you can ask if you find your life full of things that you don't want to do. Is today's to-do list, my action plan, is it going to drive me towards what I personally prioritize for my life? Is it going to drive me in that direction? If the answer is yes, you can ask yourself some powerful questions to get to the truth, and that is that you do want to do those things because they are contributing to what you want. Second question could be, you could look at your to-do list, your action plan, and you could say, are these really my action steps? Or have I been inspired, which is great? Have I been inspired by someone else out there, and have I injected their values, their priorities, their ideas, their goals, because I think that's what I should do? If that's yes, it's time to step back, look at what you actually want, look at what you actually prioritize, look at what the goals that you actually want to achieve, and then you can create an action plan around this. Does this make sense? Because then you start to get into a positive cycle. And yes, of course, sometimes I wake up and I think, that voice in the head, that little voice will jump in. You've done a tough session yesterday, might be a little bit aching, a little bit of lactic acid, a little bit of DOMS, delayed onset of muscle soreness, I think, for my sports scientists. And my little voice might be like, Jermaine, maybe you don't need to go to the gym today. I don't want to go to the gym today. But my action plan has got that workout in there. Does that make sense? And I know that one of my highest priorities, mine, not something I've picked up, one of my highest priorities is physical development, having the health, strength, vitality, and energy way into my later years, so I can have the strength, vitality, energy to play with my son, my future children, my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren, and be an inspirational, healthy pillar of physicality for my family. That's what I want. So even though in that moment I may not want to go to the gym, I can reframe that small task into what I actually want, which means I do actually want to go to the gym. This makes sense, my friends? Might seem a little bit complex, that little voice might try and talk some nonsense at you. But here's the truth. When you practice this, because it's just like, the mind is just like the other muscles of the body. You need some practice, need some repetition, need some reps. Once you practice doing this, the real you, the real voice within, not the programmed, conditioned little voice that talks nonsense at you, you can start to take control. And you say, perhaps you can have a conversation. Might seem a little bit crazy. You say, yeah, maybe in this present moment, I am feeling a little bit sore. Feeling yesterday's session a little bit. But let me remind you about what we actually want. What we actually are going to achieve. What our highest priorities are. What our highest values are. And then that little voice will start to shut up because you're going to do it anyway. I think it was Da Vinci or Michelangelo, one of them said, if you hear a voice in your head that says you cannot paint, paint and the voice will be silenced. That little voice can't go on chirping at you when you reframe it, when you talk to it, the real executive center of your brain, when you talk to it and you start to do what it thought you didn't want to do. Then you create momentum. My friends, Facebook, Instagram, absolute privilege to share this live experience with you. If you're watching the replay, equally as privileged to be with you. If you've got any ideas, any questions, any thoughts about your priorities, your values, your goals, what you'd ultimately like to achieve, how you can turn things around and reframe some of the things that that little voice says you don't want to do, feel free to give me a message, stay in touch. And I love interacting with you guys. Always early in the morning or later on in the evening, I get back to everyone. And this is just an incredible medium to talk to you guys. So thank you so much, Instagram. Thank you so much, Facebook. And I will catch you a little bit later on. Most importantly, keep going and keep growing. Love you guys.